Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I went from Novice to Silver 3 in a month, and how you can get from Novice to Silver 3, I think in a day, just based on rating, not power. Power is based on the card, the power of the cards you have, and rating is your battle ability. So I'm talking about battle ability from Novice to Silver 3. So this will be a two-part video in this episode, I guess. I'm going to show you what cards you basically need to get from Novice to Silver 3. So only 5 cards. So I'm going to start off telling you that I only use 2 splinters, Death and Water. Death I use for anything under 20 mana, and Water I use for more than 20 mana. The reason why is because Death has a lot of really strong cards for their value that are really cheap, but Water has so many things that boost when working together on a team. Here, I'll talk about these cards in order. So, Ouster Rotwell, he's a Death summoner who has a Magic Reflect ability. That means he gives everyone on the Death team the power to reflect any magic damage. So any guys like this, any guy in your team, if he gets hit by one of these, he'll deal 1 damage back, which is pretty good in small battles. So he's a great counter against magic because of this, but he's kind of expensive to rent. So the next card I'm going to talk about is Skeleton Assassin. Now he's alpha, and you get this guy in the playable deck that everyone has when they start out, right? But this Skeleton Assassin is alpha. Alpha cards and promo cards get a 10% DEC boost when you win in a battle. That gives that 10% boost, and the reason why I want him alpha is because I use him nearly in every game. He's really great for his cost, has super high speed, only deals 1 damage, but if you're attacking back row, I think that's all you need. And his health is pretty great for anything really less than 20 mana, and he's very cheap to rent. I think 0.1 DEC a day. Now on the Water team, so there's 2 tanks here. I'll use the Spineback Turtle for anything less than 30 mana. He's really great for his cost. 4 mana, he doesn't deal damage and his speed is low, but his armor and health, that's where it's at. And he's alpha too because he gives that 10% DEC boost just like this guy. He's also 0.1 DEC to rent. So is this guy, 0.1 DEC to rent. Anything you see this on the bullets, cheap to rent, that means it's 0.1 DEC to rent. This sea monster, I like him though because he deals a good amount of damage, and his health is good, but also this self-heal. So at the end of, at the start of, when it's his turn, he'll heal for 2, which is pretty good. Now this guy, he's a reward card. I think everyone should have a 1 by now, but if you don't, he's pretty expensive to rent. I just rent him anyways, because you can win so many games with this guy. He gives everyone +2 armor, adds 1, so he gives everyone +2 armor with this ability, which is great. So all of these water guys are kind of low on health. This guy, Medusa, the other 2 magic guys that are water, they deal a lot of damage like when working together, but when they start breaking down, when the other team starts killing one, then their teamwork starts to destabilize. So this guy keeps the team together. He's really great. He has the same stats as the other 4 mana guys, but he's 1 more mana for 2+ armor for everybody. So that value is super worth it. So these are the cards you need, but I'm going to talk about a little bit more. So these are neutral cards that you need. The reason I said renting only 5 cards is because renting the cheap cards to start off with. So any guys that say cheap to rent, you should just rent those now, so you can start winning more battles, because they're really cheap, and then you'll win more, meaning you'll get more DEC, so you can rent better guys, this guy and this guy. So now I'll talk about these neutral guys, creeping ooze, and these guys. So the most important guy that I pretty much use in every game is creeping ooze, because he slows everyone down -1 speed. That will be so helpful in mirror matches, especially when death against death lower than 20, because for death everyone deals pretty much high damage for their health, so they're all glass cannons, so they'll die faster, and he delays an opponent. So where I would put him is right after the tank. So for death, for example, I would put Haunting Spirit, then this Creeping Ooze guy, then all the other attackers. And he's pretty kind of cheap to rent, little less than 1 DEC. But if you keep reloading the page, sometimes you'll get one for 0.1 to rent. So the next card is Gelatinous Cube and Sandworm. I don't use these guys too often, but they're great when it's a high mana match. And they're both cheap to rent, 0.1, 0.1, so you should rent these once you start seeing success with the guys from the previous page. And once you start seeing 99 mana matches, which happen, I think, Bronze 2 or Bronze 3, like high Bronze 3, then you should start renting these guys. They really help you win those 99 mana matches. So I'll start off with Gelatinous Cube, because for 99 it doesn't matter their mana, but his health is huge, and he has this ability called Scavenge. So every time anyone dies on the field, he gains +1 health. So he's a great wall. I would put for this, since it's a high 99 mana match, we'd use a water team. So I'd use Sea Monster, not Creeping Ooze, Sea Monster, Gelatinous Cube, and I'll follow it up with a bunch of other strong water guys. Follow it up with this guy. The reason why you want him second, you don't want him to be your primary wall, is because you want to give him time to get more health. Now I'll talk about Sandworm. He does so much damage, but his speed is kind of slow. This is a level 2. In level 1, his speed is slow. His health is kind of high too. He does a huge amount of damage. The only thing bad about him is that his slow speed. But if you can get this guy on, I wouldn't recommend it for high mana matches, because you're kind of wasting 1 mana on this guy, one slot. But if you can somehow slow down the other team or speed your team up, then he's pretty great, because he'll land his hits more often. So when you're calculating missing and attacking, speed and flying and dodge, those all come into play. So a speed difference of 2 will miss more than a speed difference of 1. There's all a cool calculation on it, but I'm not gonna get into it right now. So now the last one is Furious Chicken. He's the only 0 mana card in the game, and he's 1 health, and that's not bad for a free card. So I would use this guy any game where it's less than 20, because I feel like over 20 or actually 25, he's taking up a card slot that could be used for someone else. So I would put him, if you have a slow tank like Haunted Spirit with speed of 2, I would put this guy first so that he'll die, and then Haunted Spirit can come in not like scotch free, and then he'll start dealing damage there. So I love this guy, but he's really expensive to rent. So these are the neutral cards. I say pick this guy up. He's the most important guy here. And then I'd use this guy more often than this guy and this guy. He's not needed. You don't even need this guy to go to Silver 3. Most people don't even use him against you. Now, these guys, Axemaster and Shadowy Presence, I would use these two much later on, maybe Bronze 1, to break that threshold of Silver 3. These guys will make you win your matches way more. So I'll talk about Axemaster first, because he's for water. His speed is high, his health is pretty high, and his damage is only 2, but he has this double strike ability, meaning that he'll attack twice, so he actually deals 4. He's great because he'll break that armor in the first turn and then deal damage for the second hit. So I would, when I'm putting him in a layout, I always put him last because he has high enough health and he'll keep killing everything. We'll team up with the water guys and attack the front row. Now I'll talk about Shattered Presence. He's kind of like an upgraded chicken. 1 mana, 4 health, which is really great. I would put this guy either in the back row to block from sneaks, or I would put him in front, like the very first card. It depends on the layout though, and what rule sets there are. Now here's a typical death layout. I would start off with Zintar Mortalis, because I would use this guy most of the time, and Ouster Rotwell when you know that the other team is going to run a magic team. Then just water and maybe grass. Those two have the most likely chance of having a water team. So after using this summoner, I would use Haunted Spirit. He has a self-healing ability, so he'll when there's a draw, he'll win the draw because he can heal. Creeping Ooze to follow him up to slow everyone down. And I'd put Undead Badger and Skeleton Assassin. They both have sneaks, so they'll work on whittling down the opponent's back row. I would put Skeleton Assassin last because his health is a little higher than Undead Badger. So if there's a mirror match, then they'll be attacking this guy first, and he'll deal 1 more damage, which is game defining in a less than 20 mana game. And I'll talk about a water layout for more than 20 mana. So I'll use Alric Stormbringer, which is the only +1 magic summoner that you can use at this level. Start him off with Spineback Turtle, because of the reason I stated. Make sure you get an Alpha Rent. Then follow him up with Medusa, Elven Mystic, and Ice Pick Leaf. They all get the +1 magic boost, so it's actually 2 damage here, 2 damage, 2 damage. And I put them in this order because Ice Pixie is the lowest health. She can die from pretty much anything. Then I'd follow her up with a water elemental, or if you have the mana, Axemaster, or you can put the Weavesmith guy, the guy I was talking about earlier, who can give everyone +2 armor. Yeah, so that's the end for this video, and those are the cards on basically just the cards all that you need. In the next video, I'll do some battle examples, and I'll talk through those battles, and I'm only going to use the cards that I have here, and the playable cards. Yeah, that's it for this video, so make sure you click on the next video so you can know how to use these cards properly. So it's one thing about getting the right cards, but you have to use them correctly. So yeah, I hope you see you in the next video. If you want to support me, you can like the video, comment, subscribe, mostly that really helps. And if you want to support me in the game, you can send DC or SPS to Project Time back here. And that's all for this video. Make sure you get to the next video. Have a great one. Bye.